everybody, and welcome back to The Men's Couch, a show about the men's mental health. I'm Alex Hennon.
I'm Micah.
I'm Owen Williams.
I'm Angie. I'm Marina.
And welcome back to The Men's Couch. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Men's Couch. Micah, take it away.
Woo woo. Okay, so yesterday we talked about how men can struggle with wearing masks in different social contexts or just in general because we've been socialized to wear masks we're socialized to do that because when we showed like our real selves, then it was rejected like in childhood, so we kind of in your like elementary, middle school, sort of like through high school, like that socialization process, you get like or sort of like kind of forced to wear a certain mask to fit in or just to fit into the man box, what's called the quote unquote man box. And that's kind of what we did yesterday. Sam was going over the different masks. Lauren's back. Sam was going over the different masks, and I just kind of want to like get everyone's perspective and like kind of keep talking about that. I also want to give a shout out to Lauren. She's in the house today, but she's not on mic.
Lauren!
Hello.
Love you guys. I'm studying for nursing.
She's studying for nursing.
She's burnt out.
Yeah, real.
But that's kind of what I want to elaborate on and just kind of explore like what do people like think of when they think of, oh, I'm wearing a mask, because it's in the word, like masculinity has the word mask in it.
Oh my god, I never actually realized that.
That's
Why did I
profound
just
stuff
realize
right
that
there.
just now?
So
just
it
gone
kind of
boom.
has that in it. So that's not to say like, I'm just saying that involving what we have to do as men sometimes we feel like we need to, and I think it's mostly like subconscious. We feel like we have to wear a different mask. But yeah, we went over, what mask did we go over?
We were on mask number 4 or 4? 5?
Yeah, we finished 4.
Okay.
What was the sexual one?
Number 5.
Oh yeah, we were on the sexual one.
Number
So,
5
We
large
finished
and number 6.
slow. We got halfway through that one.
Yeah, we were talking about the sexual mask.
Do you want to
And
rehash it?
so the sexual mask is basically, I got all these girls, or I scored all these girls or whatever. I never heard it at college. Other people said they have.
There's a dictionary definition for it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the sexual mask is men's needs for women. It derives from a sense of helplessness used to gratify physical needs or validate insecurities, a feeling desired. A never-ending trophy hunt, winning is perceived as adding another person to a tally. The numbers are not about intimacy, but arithmetic used to feed his ego.
Yeah, so basically, I witnessed this in high school where, it's kind of like during freshman year of high school, where it's kind of like, we're talking about, and I don't, please, I'm just gonna say to talk about smashing women, and I was just like,
You should apologize to women.
yeah, so I apologize. Like before, so when I say that,
Why would you
It's
smash a woman like that? That's
being
so
very,
violent.
like,
woman.
I'm
We have
being
2
very,
women in the house right now, and we're cool with it.
I'm being very like cautious when like I'm saying that because.
Oh, there's 3. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to be fair, I've also heard women play Smash or Pass, so it's not a gender-specific thing in that.
No.
Well, just like at my high school, it's just like kind of like a seen as an achievement, like based on how many women like you've gotten or whatever.
It's so creepy. It's
Yeah.
We have a story for you.
Oh.
Okay.
If it's like,
I'll
if
start
it's,
it off.
okay, if it's,
All right.
yeah, okay.
No names, no nothing. We don't even know the name of,
Okay.
of the person. But there
Okay.
was
You were
one.
there.
There is one. Yeah, you were here.
Michael
You were
was
there. But it's just, it plays to the insecurity that men have when they come from high school to college. They feel like they have to ramp up their masculinity
Yes.
to fit in, because
Yes.
they're like, I'm joining this whole new world of all these older guys. I gotta play their game now. That's
Yeah.
what I get. But we're
Yeah.
pretty sure this
It's,
guy's
like,
a
on
freshman,
point.
and we were actually sitting after a podcast eating dinner, and this guy who's in the cafeteria started talking very explicitly and very objectifying like a woman that he had sex with like in the past night to this other guy, and he was very loud. It wasn't like we were eavesdropping, he was just very loud with it, and so we could hear everything. It was kind of like a pride thing, and he was objectifying her and had no remorse, smiling, laughing, everything, no remorse. And that's just something that it's like, it's a privilege that guy was able to have sex with this woman. It was a privilege. She let you do that. And that was basically the summary of this mask. It really is. It's kind of like the pinnacle example of it, because this man is just trying to seem super masculine and super in charge and super cool by saying how many girls he's smashed. You know, it's not appropriate because women get hurt in that process.
Yeah. I just want to like take a minute to like kind of like let that settle in, because that's basically what we're talking about when we're talking about the sexual mask, is how men I guess like with college age or just that age demographic, they feel like they need to have this like sexual conquest, or they feel like they've achieved something by talking like explicitly about their like sexual experience. And it's like with that podcast and with the podcast and just with with our like support group in our podcast, we want to like create an environment where we don't tolerate that. It's like we come as men as like our authentic selves, and we're here to express ourselves and like climb over those masks, because it's doing damage to like our relationships and just to like our community and our environment. So that's not what we want.
I'd also like to mention that like from a female point of view, it's not like we don't have our masks as well. You know, it's not like women do. The podcast is talking about that, but I promise you that's not just men that objectify their sexual partners and stuff. So that story that I gave was just a man's perspective, but I guarantee you that there's women doing it too. So I don't think it's a one gender, one-sided struggle.
Yeah. And I think with from like the research and like what I've read, it's because of like patriarchy that is just normalized. Because of that, it's just normalized. And with, like you said, with people like transitioning from high school to college, they're trying to like seem very like masculine, and that's just, I think that becomes a problem, because you're just like, that's not your like your real self. So
I think there's also a social stigma that kind of forces that, because there's society tells guys in a lot of times where it's like, go out and try and get as many people as possible, and like I've seen guys high-five each other over, oh yeah, objectifying women or whatever, but like, oh, I scored something last night, or so on and so forth. Like, I think society in general, like friend group dynamics even, can further enforce that in a toxic way.
Yeah,
that's true.
I definitely also think that hookup culture has contributed to that a lot.
Now I don't like, this is gonna sound weird, but I don't know much about like hookup culture, so someone will have to like explain that to me. Like, what is hookup culture? Well, maybe like not on this podcast episode, but like later.
Like I know what it is, but sometimes, like, can anyone elaborate very well on what it is? Yeah.
For me, observing what I believe that hookup culture is, it's kind of like it is picturing sex more as less of an intimate thing and more of an activity and a hobby almost. It is devaluing sex in a way. It's just another part of life, and it's also, it makes it more of a game. Hookup culture is like how many people have you hooked up with, and things like that.
So like a sexual game then.
Yeah,
pretty much.
The more you have, like, the better.
It's just not showing value to sex in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so essentially, it's a numbers game. You're more so trying to be with. It's like a bunch of one night stands. Like people are seeking partners, male or female, trying to get a volume of partners. So like they never form a genuine connection with whatever their partner is, as you might typically think about. Which that's not always a bad thing, but more often than not, it sees you kind of a lot of your life and some of your relationships seem a lot more shallow. If all you're
Very
doing is
shallow, yeah.
the relationship becomes entirely about sex rather than emotions or anything like that.
Yeah. So the next mask is the aggressive mask.
Uh-oh.
Did we do that?
Grr.
We didn't do that.
Oh yeah, we did.
What?
Grr.
I think we did.
Grr?
Aggressive.
Yeah.
Has anyone had a real life experience where you think that someone put up a front of aggression as their like main mask in high school or anything?
Yeah.
So,
You've seen it?
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I think so. I think I don't know if I relate too much to this because I'm not like always aggressive. Wait, I'm reading it right now. So I feel like. Oh, okay, so never mind. So this isn't describing. It says the aggressive mask is about dishing out pain to others, distracting from a deeper pain within. So that kind of like explains it. It's like you're kind of like puffing up because of like you've been hurt, but you're like kind of pushing it like onto others, kind of thing. And so yeah, and it's also that's like another thing that's normalized, and it's normalized to just be aggressive when you don't get your way, and I feel like it's a way to just you're like hiding behind that, but you have like so much. What he says here is you have unaddressed pain, and I think a lot of men have like unaddressed pain.
Yeah, for sure.
That kind of causes like all of the results is like as far as mental health goes. So.
And I'll say sometimes the aggressive mask, I've even seen it in myself occasionally. Like I'll have an aggressive response, like even somebody like trying to help me or like trying to discuss emotions in certain cases, where like you get conditioned to a certain point to not show emotions like the stoic mask. Well, when somebody tries to break through that mask and go into it, you put up the aggressive mask as a way of kind of trying to protect yourself and then further block from going into things that might be uncomfortable or even painful to talk about.
Yeah. So it's like a way to like kind of avoid pain, and yeah, I guess that's another topic. It's like dealing with pain, but then who wants to read the next?
The Joker mask?
The Joker.
Okay.
There's a Joker mask. All right.
Yeah.
So number 6 is the Joker mask. Men require humor and wit. Cynicism and sarcasm are intellectual weapons to defend against attempts to soften him or connect with him. Deflecting on a man's inner pain, the Joker mask focuses light on others. Masked as a defense mechanism of humor and sarcasm, a sense of worthlessness is highlighted. Conversations only touch surface level, as saying something honest or authentic would be seen as too vulnerable.
I think I have the Joker mask because I like to I'm a very like humor laughing person.
Yeah.
So I think yeah, I think I have that, and I'm not like it's not always to avoid pain, but sometimes like it can be used to like not deal with things or like my like avoidance strategies to like avoid that pain because I can just laugh it off, and it's I just kind of just like if you're growing up and you're uncomfortable with emotions that we deem bad like anger or like being like disappointed, then like the Joker mask can be a way to avoid all those feelings.
I don't know about you, but I think that this mask is probably the most seen in media, television, videos, things like that. I think it is put into television shows and into movies as the stereotypical class clown. Especially in high school, depicted in high school films and stuff. Mm-hmm. So I think it's definitely it's so common, in fact, that we're using it commonly in media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think I'm like noticing that all of these are these masks are kind of like a way to avoid emotions that we feel are just uncomfortable. Like we experience a discomfort, and then we put on the mask. So really, the problem isn't necessarily just the mask, but like how do we deal with those uncomfortable feelings? Yeah.
Mm.
Because just generally like being socialized, it was just basically like shamed if you had, if you showed any like disappointment, or if you just showed like a level of something like or something going on in your life, and you share that with someone, and like the person reacts with, oh, you just have to like buck up or toughen up or something like that. So that's like kind of creates that. It literally kind of creates that mask. Like kind of like we're socialized to do that. Yeah.
For sure.
So the next one is the invisible mask. Wait, no, not the invisible mask. The invincible mask.
Invincible. Okay.
That wouldn't be a mask.
That can be a mask.
True.
Oh my gosh, I didn't realize this like kind of like maybe a thing, because like it deals with like didn't we talk about competition before?
This is interesting.
Well, this should be good.
I think we talked about
All right.
competition
Yeah.
and comparison.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it on like the last podcast. I think you were there. You
Yeah.
were there. It was
Yeah.
when I cooked. I was cooking that.
Oh yeah,
day.
you were cooking
Right.
that day.
The
Yeah.
Angie cooking episode.
Yeah.
Throwing a little X.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it says
Sign up.
that it's created by competitiveness and it thrives off challenge and the need to win and live life on the edge. So it's basically about like that external, it's like that external feeling of competition that you need to have. That you need to have. The example is sports. But I think like in general life, like maybe like the invincible mask is you kind of like, I can handle all of this, I'm fine, like kind of like that.
Yeah, you should read the third part of it. So the third part of the invincible mask is, in modern culture, invisibility isn't just about extreme sports. It stems to daily life, taking risky professional gambles, overworking, pushing yourself for more, and a never-ending quench for success.
Yeah, I think I have like the overworking
Yeah.
thing. Yeah. The overworking thing is very heavy because maybe as men we feel like we need to work all the time, and resting. Oh, are you about to cook?
I'm about to cook, but you go first.
And resting feels like just weird, but good.
I think I have this mask
Yeah,
specifically,
this one.
because definitely in college, my overall experience of college, I've been just working every day. I have a schedule, which is healthy, but I feel like there are certain points where I'm like working myself out a little bit with a burnout.
Mm-hmm. Towards our burnout. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm always focused, but at the same time, that amount of focus can leave you not focused.
Yeah. And it's
I don't know if that
about-
makes any sense at all, but
It's about the achievement.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I achieved this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that probably also has to do with like the social norm that men have of like being the workers, being the providers. And if you want to be that, you can, like, that's acceptable if you want to do that willingly. But I also think that there's a limit to that, and you don't always have to be burning yourself out and overworking yourself in order to feel like you are fulfilling yourself to be in that role. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, to me, it feels like if I don't do that, the day is unsatisfying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, does that make sense?
Yeah, but it doesn't work with like me because I'm a very slow living. I've said this before. I'm
Yeah.
a very like slow living person. Like I can a day of that makes me feel content is just going out in the garden or just being around my cat. Like that. Like I don't need to do all these like things. But that's like how my lifestyle is. But before that, I felt that there was something wrong with my level of productivity because I thought, I needed to just be like constantly working on something, but maybe life isn't just about work.
Yeah. I feel like I struggle with that a lot. I can relate to you in that way. 'Cause if they're like every day, like you have stuff, you have school and you have classes,
Yeah.
but sometimes like if I know that there is something I have not done, even if it's not due until like next week,
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get it done, and I need to get it done like now.
Yeah.
So if I don't, like, I just feel unsatisfied and like I haven't been productive.
You're getting behind.
So yeah, it's
Don't
like
get
that,
behind.
like yeah, and often like when I have stuff going on, like I use that as like a way to cope with things, like doing work, being busy, not having enough time to think about it.
Yeah.
And then so yeah, in a way that is a mask that I feel like many of us go through, and sometimes we subconsciously like don't even recognize it because we just put it all on, oh, I have too much work, or oh, this, and I don't have time to address it. So yeah, I definitely think that that's something that a lot of us go through.
I also want to say that this is one of those masks that can definitely really hurt a relationship. It can really hurt a relationship because with a mask like this, like I've seen in my personal life with a man I had been talking with for a while, when they put work above all else, that can really hurt personal connection, and it can really hurt personal relationships. It can really affect the people around you. Sometimes you don't realize that it can affect people around you when you're so focused. You're like, but I'm succeeding,
Yeah.
but you're hurting people in the
I need to do
process.
this. Yeah.
I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with working hard. It's
Yeah.
excessively working is
There has to be a
what's bad.
balance.
There has to be a balance.
Yeah. And even that invincible like kind of work thing can be a way to avoid things, like to avoid pain and just like things that like I said before, it starts with normalizing that we experience pain, we experience like discomfort. I think it starts with normalizing that, and it starts with normalizing that, and if we don't normalize pain as men, that we all experience a level of pain, whether it just be like whatever it is, you didn't do good in something that you wanted to do, you didn't achieve the goal, and you experience pain, but you hide behind the Joker mask, or you hide behind the invincible mask, like, oh, I got it together, I'm fine. But it just, I don't know, it doesn't. I think we need to create room for us to fully experience it, and then be honest about it, because it is hard being a guy, because being socialized to just like have everything, like to have a wall in front of everyone. But I don't know, I think recently I've been a lot of stuff has changed, and a lot of like positive things, a lot of positive influence in my life, and
That's great.
it's like helped me change to become a more like honest person.
That's great.
But I'm kind of saying that like,
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
looking at you guys, but
What do you think? Do you think that men have a unspoken pressure to have everything put together, to have
Yes.
everything in line?
yes.
Okay.
And that's not like, as a person that like loves to talk about friendship, it doesn't create room for like a real friendship, because it doesn't help to build your social support. It doesn't help to build that, because you're always like pretending, but subconsciously pretending of, oh, I don't know, just like as an example, I got all these girls, or I did all this, I'm invincible or whatever, and it doesn't like create like room for people to get to know, like, okay, who's the real person in it. Like, if we don't reveal our humanity to people, then we're just gonna feel like alone, because we're gonna feel like we're the only people like that.
Another question. Do you feel like if a man, there's once again an unspoken pressure that if a man does not succeed in a professional world, then he's not a successful man? Like in his job, if he doesn't have a high paying job, or if he doesn't have if he doesn't have success necessarily in his job, and he's bouncing around job to job or something, is he not a successful
I
man?
feel like it's like a stigma
Yeah.
attached to that, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like a
Those
shame.
stigmas.
I'd also argue that as you get older and you begin dating even like people in their 30s or whatever, just a lot of what I've seen even in media or just talking with people is women in a lot of cases will start to look for a man who's more fiscally successful and has his life put together and all that stuff. And as younger men, we see these older men and see them maybe someone who might not necessarily have their stuff together or be like dating people when they're younger, but then they end up with, to use the term, a smoking blonde or something like that because they took care of business and got their thing done. It kind of puts somewhat of a pressure on you, and it's like, oh, you got to be successful because you kind of hold yourself up to all these older men who have gone through their job and done this.
Yeah, I also think that's kind of like, I think that idea in a way has also been influenced by like women as well, because often when like we have the talk, it's like, what do you look for in a man? Like, like older than me, like successful, like high paying this, high paying that, like this much amount of money in the bank, and like, so it's very unrealistic at times, and I feel like that also has contributed to the idea that you need to be somewhere or have a certain job in order to feel successful. So yeah, I definitely think that in a way women have contributed to that idea. So
Okay, this isn't on the list. Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
I was just gonna say, all the men out there who are looking necessarily for a relationship with women, if a woman does right off the bat mention money, or mention like your success or something like that, that's not what you're looking. That's a
red
selfish.
flag, I
Run the
suppose.
other
That's a
way.
red flag.
the other
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
Red flag, I suppose.
That's just a woman who doesn't have her priorities straight.
Yeah. So another this isn't, I don't know what to call this mask, but this isn't on the list. But all throughout high school, people would say, "Oh, that's gay," or "This is like," stuff like that, and it would just be like kind of, I guess that's a mask, like
That might fall under sexuality
sexual
or like a sexual mask, just a different gradation of it.
like
Okay.
but I think
Yeah,
the
I-
more social aspect of it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
a social, like how
Mask.
you're kind of you're trying to, so basically you're trying to make people think that you're not gay based on a number of characteristics that you have.
It was like a hug, and then it was like followed by the no homo phrase.
Yeah, so it's like that mask, and I don't know, what is it, the no homo mask? Is that what we're calling it, the no homo mask?
So do you think that men have to be one or the other? It's kind of like a poles thing. Either you are a masculine man or you are full on gay.
Yeah, so like in high
There's no in
school-
between.
Well, I'd argue that's the stigma that's spread around because like
Yeah.
there's
That's
the
a stigma.
stereotype
That's a
of
stigma.
there's a stereotype and stigma of gay men of being effeminate, but some of the butchest men I've known have been very much out of the closet, openly gay, and like I think the society's starting to catch up with that. But like even with us growing up in school and stuff, we were still in that part where okay, this is being socially acceptable, but we're still going to joke about it a lot, and it becomes seen as being less masculine to be gay.
And it's basically, I feel like it's a way to put down other men because they don't fit the man box that you have,
Or that you were pretending to be in.
that you're pretending to be. Oh my
I
gosh,
don't
she's
think-
cooking.
No, because I don't like. I think I said something that even they're like putting on a mask because they feel
Yeah.
like that's what's like a stereotype, and they feel like they need to fit that box. So I think a lot of it has to do with background. Like I've shared a lot about like my own Hispanic Latino culture and how that's like a huge thing. If like you like men don't cry, like go out and work, like go out and make money, like go out and help, like pay bills, like don't like they don't focus on being able to address the emotional side to it.
Yeah.
So that could be seen as like less masculine or like feminine if you do. So I definitely think that I definitely and even that is like the fact that like emotions are associated with like feminine like feminine
Yeah, you're saying right.
feminine is also like I don't know. I feel like
Can I have a controversial opinion?
Oh. All right, here we go.
Let's go.
Coming from a woman, I think it's dang attractive if a man cries.
Okay.
I do. I think it's dang attractive if a man cries in front of me.
All right.
Yeah. Call
That's
me
not really a
weird,
controversial
but
opinion, but
Is
I
it
don't
a
know.
controversial
It's not
thing?
I don't
controversial.
know because
To
men
other
are,
women, when they see men cry, they're like, "Oh no, that."
I think men are
Ugh.
taught that women don't like that when in reality
really they
like
want
I feel
emotional
like-
intimacy.
yeah.
I feel like that would be probably a controversial opinion for men, but I feel like a lot of surprisingly, like whether
She's like, check out the mic.
It's like whether you believe it or not, I'm also willing to say most women would want that.
Because it's like it's genuine. It's a genuine.
Yeah.
You're showing
Mhm.
yourself.
And I don't know, I feel like somebody who doesn't find that attractive or would be unattracted by that probably has some own like
like their own
emotional
thing.
trauma
Yeah.
that would make them be attracted to emotionally unavailable men.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not necessarily that I think that men are the most attractive ever when they start crying. I don't
Yeah.
think that.
No.
I just think I like the emotional
It's that
vulnerability. So
humanity
so I
of
think
that,
it's
yeah.
it's not off-putting at all.
Those
whatsoever.
tears are so hot.
Yeah, where I was going with that
You
is
know.
basically, I experienced this in high school. Basically, people just kept like calling me gay, and it was very annoying, because they just assumed my sexuality based on like how I dress.
Oh,
Because
you
I'm
have a wicked sense of fashion style. So.
a wicked sense. What's that mean?
I say you're.
You have a good style.
That's
Yeah.
a
I have a good
positive
style.
thing.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
your style, like honestly, like
It's
every
iconic.
time I see your closet, it's like
It's like
it's
the
good-
nice
it's good
velvets.
It's very well put together.
like
Yeah.
even the shirt you're wearing now, like the blue and the black, it goes well.
But people assume that based on how you present yourself, and I'm a very sensitive person. I think we all know that. I'm a very sensitive.
Yeah.
I'm a very sensitive like guy, and even that like that was like shamed growing up. It's like because it's like okay, men expressing their emotional like vulnerability, that means they're gay. What? So it's just a word that's like thrown around, and it doesn't basically it just further harms people. So yeah, it's harmful, but
Yeah, like
it's one of
oh yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. Even like in high school, I was kind of being called gay because I was in musicals.
Oh, the musical.
You know the
people are
stereotype?
all
Oh, there's a big one there.
Yeah.
You know the stereotype of every guy in musical. Oh, they
yeah.
must be gay.
They gotta be gay.
It was also
Yeah.
like I did dance for years, and it was also like if there was men who danced, they were gay or they
Yeah.
were considered gay,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't know, it's definitely stereotypes that still exist within like that apparently not being masculine for
yeah.
certain people, and
Yeah.
them just shaming men for wanting to do what they love, their
Right.
And
passions.
there's like, and it kind of comes back to this is like God gave us different gifts and different like personalities, and maybe we've been feel shame about that, feel shame about our personalities because of like it doesn't fit with a man box, but we don't need to be shamed.
There is no such thing as a man box. We put it there. We put it there, but there shouldn't be a man box. You know. I mean, God has a specific definition of a man in the Bible, but other than that,
Yeah.
there should not be a societal box other than
Yeah.
what.
Do what you want to do.
All
Yeah.
I'm saying is when I get like a cardboard fort, I'm just having fun with my friends.
Yeah.
I feel like a man there. Like that's my man box. I just go there and
Man
hang out
box.
with friends and shit.
You're
It's
a
just-
Mother
physical
box
man
right there.
box.
yeah, exactly.
That's very
Yeah.
like
Castle. Like
But,
castle.
like, I
Yes.
You don't have a
mentioned like
physical man box.
But
Yeah,
even the
exactly.
thing with like me mentioning that I'm always in the garden. It's like I had a kind of hard time even telling you that because like, I was like because gardening is seen as like a feminine thing, but my granddad did it.
Gardening is freaking awesome.
Gardening's really
No,
cool.
in
to
other
have.
cultures, like the
Yeah.
gardening is done by.
Yeah.
My
It's not-
grandfather has an entire garden in his backyard. Oh, you would love it, by the way.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Did I ever share the stories of the peach trees behind my house and how those came to be?
No.
Oh,
So
yeah,
okay,
when
me and
you,
my
like, throw
dad,
the peach
me and
trees,
my dad
yeah.
would eat peaches out in the summer, and we would throw the seeds in the grass.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then one summer, like there was actually trees just like they started growing. So now we like actually, me and him always like take care of that together, and that's not a feminine thing. That's a
Yeah.
you just love the garden type
Yeah,
thing.
I'm a nature.
It's nature.
Yeah.
Nature's for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God's creation does not have gender carers. It's
Yeah.
not like women can only tend to crops. It's
Yeah.
not like that.
And even with my cat. Anyway, so the next mask, number 8, is a know-it-all mask. I'm just gonna say it. I have this mask. Oh, I have this mask. I think we like attribute. We say like, okay, how much we know based on like maybe like our worth, or maybe like It's kind of like that image, like I know so much.
And that's what I'm worth.
Yeah, like I have so much to offer. Look at how much I know.
Yeah.
Lauren's dying over here. Lauren's okay. She'll.
Nursing major in the house. But anyway,
Yeah, it's like. Okay.
so it's like how much you think you know.
And I've
Yeah.
always felt that way.
Yeah.
Like when it comes to like not like maybe not like self-worth, but I always have like a huge importance on like what I know
Mhm.
is what I'm like worth.
Yeah.
I feel.
And it could be dangerous for like my own like book hobby
And, like,
because
Yeah.
yeah.
And that's what like sometimes you get told like at school, or like sometimes even
Yeah.
your parents can contribute this even when they don't mean to. And it's like, oh, like go to school so you can learn, so you can be smart, because what you know is what you're worth, and like knowledge is power. So
Yeah.
power is success,
Yeah,
according to a lot of people.
true. You're like, oh, it's like that one like smart kid in class, like back in like high school or middle school.
No,
You know
my
those
God.
kids like correcting the teacher, like, actually.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
However, I feel like I have the opposite. Instead of knowing everything, I feel like I don't know anything, especially back in the day.
yeah.
Because I definitely was not a smart kid, and I'm still not. But
I'm calling bull on that, but anyway.
nah, it's true. I might wear glasses, but no.
That was also a stereotype.
Stereotyping.
Oh, yeah.
I guess.
You're in college. You're doing better than a lot of people.
You got something,
I-
kid.
I don't know how I got this far, but yeah, I guess so.
But and let's just like be clear that academic success is good, but it doesn't measure like you as a person.
Mm-hmm, true.
Oh,
Yes.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
You could be skilled in so many other things other than academics, and that attributes to just as much success and just as much quality, and it
The mic's cut up.
No, yeah, academic success is not the end all and be all.
Yeah.
There's so many other things you can excel in other than academics. It is a great way to mark your success with actual marks and stuff in smarts like that. Like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. It is a great thing to be good in academics, but you can be dang good at other things and be just as successful.
It's a slippery slope sometimes. It's a
Like-
I mean,
slippery
and
slope.
again, like success is subjective, so like to each their own with what they define as success.
Yeah.
I'll say, as someone who's always been, academics have usually come relatively easy for me. Up until college, I didn't really need to study. That's how it was.
Yeah.
But like that, you'll look at other things and like you'll try and be the best at what you're good at, because you'll see the other things you're not good at and be like, you have to try and overcompensate by being the smartest at what you're at, because maybe you're not good at sports or whatever. Just like that's the stereotypical
I think I
example.
have that
but it
more
could be
because
anything.
because I'm not good at sports, so I think I have that more. I don't have like the athlete mask, but I have like the academic mask or something like that.
Yeah,
So-
that's definitely the academic mask. That wasn't a thing, but it is now a thing.
It's now a thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't on the list, but
We're making so many more masks.
Yeah.
Big brain in here. Oh,
we should correct the.
I don't know what you said.
He said big brain in here.
Oh.
yeah, we're thinking. In here.
Well, no, that's a good point though, because like it's like sure we have our, I don't want to say weaknesses.
We do have weaknesses.
I guess
have
I guess that's
weaknesses.
the right
Yeah.
word for it.
It's good
But-
to admit that.
Yeah, but we
man.
have our strengths as
Yeah.
well. Like
Yeah.
for example, I'm terrible at math. Micah
Oh.
knows this.
Oh,
I'm
I
terrible at
care about
math.
too.
Me too.
I'm suck at math.
We
But
hate math.
I
Yeah.
hate math here. But
You're just looking at us.
Owen's not opposed to math.
I'll do the math for the group. It's fine.
Lauren doesn't like math.
thanks, Olin.
Thanks.
Take one for the team.
Olin helped me out a little bit last semester.
Yes, sir.
But I mean, I don't want to like gloat or anything, but I am
He's a
good.
pretty dang good filmmaker.
Yeah.
Thanks, Olin.
Yeah.
Thank you, Olin.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I have talents in filmmaking because that's what I love doing.
Lone
So, yeah.
Wolf Mask. Sorry.
Well, wait, is that a thing too?
We're just calling out stuff now. Let's just call it random mask at this point.
Lone wolf mask.
Yeah, the Lone Wolf Mask. Like I don't need anybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that.
I have that mask. I have that mask too.
I had that at the beginning of the year. I remember when you first came up to me, and I was like, nah.
I felt so awkward.
And then you,
I could find
and then
something.
like no, cause I didn't like go, and then I think you waved at me in class.
Aww.
And then I like looked behind me, even though I was the last row, and I was like, "Is he saying hi to me?" And then I was like, "Maybe he's not." And then after that, the second time you asked, I joined you, and then
Yeah.
thus we are here now.
That's so
Yeah.
nice.
Just so everybody knows, like the community that we have here, and like Micah and like Alex and like Olin, they've all been very welcoming people.
And like Lauren.
Hi, Lauren. Yes, and like
She's
Lauren,
knocked out. Please
like
help her.
like these guys, like I'm pretty new to the group, even though I've been here since I've been here for a while, but I can't thank these guys enough for how welcomed I've been able to feel, and men initiated that welcoming feeling. So
Well, like I know it's called the men's couch, but this is a couch for everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everybody is welcome.
Lauren in the background.
For mental
Side
image,
character.
at some point we should get one big ass couch and just everybody sits
We
on
were
it.
We were thinking that one time.
Photo shoot on the couch.
Yes.
We should bring one up from the basement was what we were discussing last time. It was a joke.
Oh.
Literally-
I cannot hear that.
Literally after one of these shows, someone goes, "You know, it'd be a good idea to have like a couch in one of these places." It was after
Yeah.
that one show. I was like, "Yes, that's all stuff we were saying."
Yeah, but
Couch in here.
yeah, that's kind of like the mask. I feel like it's like, oh, I can do good by myself, or I don't need like a maybe that's why like I keep like we talked about this earlier in the season, like about friendship, men and friendship, how we struggle with friendship. I feel like maybe that's one of the reasons why we can struggle with that. It's because we feel like we don't need anyone, and needing people is a sign of weakness, or trying
I definitely have had points like recently where I feel like I don't need like social connections, and like I can do things by myself, and like that's all I need, and I also think that goes along with the fact that I do like having my time to myself.
Yeah.
But often, like especially when you go through like bad experiences with people, you feel like I don't need people. Like I don't like people, or
Yeah, I kind of shut off.
yeah, and that's a
from the
mask
world.
too.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
there's something to say for introverts. That is a thing, and
Yeah.
some people prefer alone time, but
True.
that doesn't mean shut off everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little different.
I mean, not even just introverts. I feel like everybody needs their alone
of
time,
course,
which is great.
extroverts need their alone time too. I'm an extrovert according
Yeah,
to
so-
the Myers-Briggs, but I need my alone time.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I'm-
also Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I guess it's like how our like whole thing works out with the being roommates. It's like it kind of balances each other out.
The
Like,
dynamic.
I'm a very like. Yeah.
I feel like we are like opposites in a way, but we also like.
What are you saying? That's
No. Wait.
Just a comment here. We have Micah and Alex who are roommates, and also the two girls, Angie and Marina, are also roommates.
Yeah.
Oh, mates.
I'm just here.
Oh yeah, and
Oh,
Owen's here,
Owen's-
and we love you.
Oh, dungeon master.
Dungeon master.
Yeah, I think. Look at.
Like seeing you under them.
Yeah. So I think
The alpha.
all of I don't know if we want to do that as like the last one. It's like the last out, the alpha.
The
Wrapping
alpha.
up.
Shall
So
we read it?
We got 10 minutes.
we can just do like a brief summary of it.
Okay, there are only two types of men. Just kidding.
Oh. Okay.
Alphas and betas.
I never
winners
understood that
and losers.
though. Oh my.
Men must dominate and win everything. They don't
Oh,
differ,
dang.
but always remain in. Oh, I'm reading this like this. Yeah. But always remain in control. Rooted within a male's ego, the alpha mask is used to exert their strength and presence. Alpha-ness is caused by insecurity with vulnerability overshadowed by outward pride. The alpha mask believes that anything that doesn't demonstrate the level of strength and dominance is weakness and will result in intolerable exclusion. The sole source for the alpha mask is validation in himself, his abilities, and what he has achieved.
I feel like that kind of goes with
Thoughts?
like a previous mask about like achievement, but what's sort of related to that, but like the alpha mask, I kind of understand it now because I didn't understand what that meant. Like alphas and betas, I still kind of don't understand that, but I think the alpha is kind of you are always appearing to be like you said, winning, whereas winning something.
I think a part of this is also, like, I remember when growing up in high school and things like that, it was the worst embarrassment if a man lost to a girl in something.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what kind of
Yeah.
what this is talking about. Like, I am the alpha and people are below me. So if I lose to you or if I'm worse at something than you, then my self-worth is worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this a lot. I played soccer for like 10 years, and I have a large number of people who have teammates I've played with and stuff. They were very hard on themselves, even when we lost or like they did something wrong, and like they would get really up in the face of their opponents when they were beating them. I think it's the machismo like you talked about.
Yeah.
But like I would notice that a lot, and like especially growing up in teenagers, like you would see the older soccer players doing it. So like you kind of emulate it, and like I mean, have you seen them? I don't know, diving and like trash talking and stuff that occurs in pro sports. If that's what you're trying to be when you grow up, you're gonna emulate what they're doing.
First of all, let me talk about like my teen years growing up. If you weren't like on top of like the social hierarchy, then you're basically considered a loser because you weren't like that top dog.
Sorry. I can relate to the soccer thing. I played soccer for years when I was younger. I played certain years where it was just like a girls team, and then I played an amount of time where it was like mixed. So that was a thing where like if you were on the same team opposing like a girl and you were losing or something, it was like, don't be a girl, like yeah, it was just like a whole thing. Especially because most of us were also like Hispanic kids, and our Hispanic lovely parents would come to watch us. So that causes riots.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very competitive. Yeah. It's- yeah.
I roughed youth soccer for a while.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, soccer is not for the weak.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Even though it's called a beautiful game.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sport.
It's a beautiful game to watch.
So
Worldwide.
I think we need to wrap
We
it
should-
up.
we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, everyone had any final thoughts before we close?
Daddy, sing it.
We should do it, yeah.
That's our outro now.
Yeah. But anyone? Anybody?
Dee-da-dee-do.
Got any?
Thank you.
Thank you, and men, I just want to like encourage you that you don't need a mask for people to accept you.
Amen.
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, everybody.
Dee-da-dee-dee-do,
No,
dee-da-dee-dee-do.
Wait, before the song. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Men's Couch, and we'll see you every Tuesday. All right.
Yeah, new posts coming soon.
Indeed. All righty.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Angie, take it away.
Dee-da-dee-dee-do, do, dee-da-dee-dee-do.